All right, but let's move into the final topic, and we're going to be talking about rookie expectations for the 2018-2019 rookie class. Ricky was like, well, didn't we do this with Rookie of the Year? A little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to go through all of the big names. We picked all 9 names in total. We're going to talk about their expectations, what's realistic for these kids, because some people are going to say, Ayton's going to easily drop 20 and 14, and Luka's still going to win the Rookie of the Year. Like, that's typically not going to happen. So we're going to talk about some of the big names, what you can think and expect from your rookie on your team. And we're going to start off with DeAndre, number 1 pick, and I think he's going to be very similar to Karl Anthony Towns' rookie year. That was his pro, comparison coming out, and I think it was pretty fair. Karl Anthony Towns a little bit smoother handling the ball and dribbling and driving, but Ayton is a little more at least physical and is not going to be afraid to take it in the low post, back up, and use his body. As we've seen, Cat is a little bit afraid to do. Looking at Cat's rookie year, 18, 10.5, 2 assists, 1.7 blocks, 0.7 steals on 54.2 shooting, 34.1 from 3. I think it's going to be lower on the 3-point end. Clearly, I think Ayton will kind of pick his spots when to shoot threes. I think we will see a couple threes from Ayton, but I think it's going to be fairly rare. I think we're going to see more mid-range jumpers from him, and I don't think he's going to be super successful at that. But I think him using his body, running off pick and rolls from either Devin Booker or if they ever find a point guard, is going to be successful. I think he's going to have a little bit of struggles, at least putting the ball in the hoop consistently. But looking at his body, it's going to be hard to imagine him not grabbing at least 10 boards a game. So I think that 10 boards is going to be spot on. I expect around 16 points at the worst, 20 at the high, and then about 13 rebounds at the high and about 8 at the low. But I think Ayton's going to have a fairly successful rookie year. Rookie,
interesting.
Talk about your rookie.
Well,
your first rookie at least.
For mine, it's got to be Trae Young. And this is the guy that I am most excited for my Rookie of the Year pick when we did it, last week. Yeah, he was my Rookie of the Year pick. And the reason why is this kid's going to score. That game that they played at Georgia Tech, I know it's only one shot, but he learned, he had the talent to do it, and he's just sitting there dribbling, tie game. He looked over at Jeremy Lin, and Lin's like, do it. And he just shot it, wins the game on that 3, that monster 3. Shades of Jeremy Lin when he was with the New York Knicks.
When was he shooting from half court?
It was what, Jeremy Lin?
When was Jeremy Lin shooting from the half court of Madison Square Garden?
It was farther out, but there was that,
was he shooting from half court, though? No.
No, it wasn't. Trae Young's was a little bit further, but it reminded me.
Shades of Jeremy Lin.
It reminded me of that Jeremy Lin shot. No, I think that Trae Young is going to have, the stat line I look for is, 17 to 18 points per game. He's going to shoot about 40% from 3 this year, have 6 to 6.5 assists per game, and maybe 2 rebounds.
Is he an all-star in the East too?
I think that he is going to be the offense for that team, and that's why he's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Being the offense, though, I think it's going to mean more points, but way less efficiency. There's no way he's going to be 40 from 3 in the NBA, where I think he was under 36 in college. I mean, he wasn't super efficient at the end of the end of Oklahoma. I think that also you could probably bump the assist up to about 7.
Maybe.
But, the efficiency is not going to be there for Trae Young. I think it's going to be very boom or bust from him. You look at Dennis Smith Jr. last year, I think he was 39 and 35 efficiency-wise. I wouldn't be afraid to say that that's going to be where Trae Young sits. I don't think he's going to be an efficient scorer at all. The points, I think, are going to be there. But, again, I've been you're obviously higher than I am on him. But I've never been a huge fan of Trae Young. And at least I think he's always going to be a boom or bust guy. And if he hits, for sure he's going to be great. But I think there's a high potential of him busting, especially with his body size. Dave, let's move to your guy, though.
So my guy's Luka Doncic. Big surprise, everybody. I only shouted about Luka Doncic for the last year.
Well, also, I would have picked him if you didn't have the second pick. It went Ricky, Dave, and then me.
It's funny how you guys picked each other's Rookie of the Years to talk about today.
That's true. I won.
Oh, you picked it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I did.
I think that's because you didn't want to pick the same one as Sean, though.
Maybe.
You wanted a different one.
Maybe it was. Maybe it's because Ayton's going to stat stun on a terrible team. But no, I'm picking Luka because he is going to be insane. I think he honestly plays somewhere. I know that the easy comparison is either, Manu Ginobili or James Harden, but I'm leaning more on the lines of Penny Hardaway, Brennan Roy. Look at them early on.
The easy comparisons of James Harden.
What? Do you not remember
No,
all
just
the
that
pre-draft
phrase.
comps? Okay.
No, but that's just that phrase, like the easy comparison to MVP James Harden
Oh my god. Ugh. Whatever.
and Hall of Famer Manu Ginobili.
Yeah. So I'm picking two guys that I like. Penny Hardaway and Brandon Roy. Bigger guards, guys who can kind of play guard and wing for you. I think he's gonna probably put up somewhere around like 15, 6, and 5. He really impressed me. Obviously, his last preseason game, 15, 6, and 5.
Okay.
This last preseason game, he was dropping dimes that looked really good. Him and DeAndre Jordan is just free money. Like, that's just going to be amazing. And he's actually cutting through defenses pretty well. I was sort of impressed. So I think it's going to be a pretty great year for him. I don't know. Putting him above,
You think he's going to get 5 assists?
I've had points, assists, rebounds.
Okay, so you have 6 assists.
I have 6 assists. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
5 boards. Yeah. Sorry, I should do it. Points, rebounds, assists, I guess. But whatever. He's a guard. I flip the order. I do me. I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to be great. I don't, as you saw earlier, I don't think that he's going to be Rookie of the Year because I think the stat numbers from DeAndre Ayton is just ridiculous.
The biggest thing with Luka, though, is efficiency. Do you think he'll at least be efficient?
Define efficient. Give me
better than Dennis Smith Jr. last year.
Yes.
Okay.
So much better than Dennis Smith Jr. last year. Like, Dennis Smith Jr. was just chucking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's bad because no. I think the only way Luka wins it this year is if the Mavs are like the 9 seed or 10 seed. Like, if he wins some games for him and does an impressive job. Because we're talking about 2 bad teams, realistically. But the Mavs have the chance, because of a couple of veterans on their team, to make a push for just right outside that playoff push.
Well, I think the big thing, the reason why Ben won last year, too, was because everyone was so hyped about the Sixers, and then they finally got there, and a large part of it was because of Ben Simmons. And I'm not saying that everyone was thinking the Jazz would be where they were, and Donovan Mitchell obviously helped them, but also I think the hype around Dennis Smith Jr. or Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia Sixers and the whole process, Ben helping him there definitely helped him win. I think Ayton probably just, again, numbers.
It just
will probably
might
win them,
overrule everything.
If Luke is able to at least put them in a competitive situation, I think that's definitely going to help him. But I think 15-7-7 and I think like 45, 38, and 80 from the line for Luka. I think that's where I have him doing. I think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year. But the next guy I have is Colin Sexton out of Alabama. Ends up going 8th overall. Obviously, he is now the guy, so his usage is going to be high. And I think that is going to be comparable to Kemba Walker in 2011, 2012. Obviously, different body types. They weren't really efficient from 3. Kemba shot 30% from 3 in his rookie year, and that was on 3.4 attempts per game. I think Colin Sexton's probably going to shoot around that in the NBA. Probably worse free throw shooter, because Kemba was a pretty damn good free throw shooter, 78%. But I think Colin Sexton's going to be around 12, 4 assists, and 3.5 rebounds with about a steal a game. I think that he's going to be not efficient like Dennis Smith Jr. was last year and like Kemba Walker was in his rookie year. Kemba was 36 from the field, 30 from 3, and 78 from the line. I think he's going to have a non-efficient year, but I think he's going to at least have the ball in his hands, opportunities in his hands. I think he's also going to have a little bit more field goal attempts because he's going to have more pressure on him. But I think he's going to be similar to a Kemba Walker's rookie year.
Is he going to be the true guy, or is it going to be Kayla, like scoring options?
Someone's got to hold the ball.
Well, exactly.
Bring the ball
but
up
like,
be a
will
facilitator.
K-Love be the true number 1 option just
100%.
because he's the veteran?
100%. And he's also the best player. Or not because he's just the veteran, but he's the best player.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to be the number 1 option on the team for sure. But someone else has to be number 2, I think, just because of young Bulls
Unless we get
mentality.
Point forward,
I think he's probably going to be second. Hell no, he's too slow. People will see him going around the screen easily. I saw Steph Curry doing a master class on pick and roll, and he was like, you had to go down and grab the dude's ankles. K-Love's not going to be able to do this back. Hell no. So no, we're not going to see point forward K-Love. He's going to be the slowest point forward in the world. I was going to be like Paul Gasol point forward. Like, you brought up Paul Gasol point forward. Well, you'd be like Paul Gasol, Tim
That's because Pop would do it. Yeah.
Maybe they should trade for K-Love.
No.
Point forward
Contract's
K-Love.
too big. Paul Gasol's a great passer, though. K-Love isn't. There's a difference.
Hello? Did you not see the full court bombs he was throwing at fucking LeBron James last year?
Hello? The Spurs are the slowest offense in the league. He's not throwing bombs anywhere.
I'm just saying.
Who's going to be down there, Sean?
He could have been quarterback for Cleveland. Before Baker came.
I say
he's better than Tyrod.
Okay.
K-Love's better than Tyrod at quarterback. Give me your stat line. For the next guy.
My next 2 actually are in the same boat of guys who played well in college, but will most likely be backup roles, at least early on in their NBA career. The first one's Mo Bamba, because, I mean, right now you look at it, they got Vucevic ahead of him in the depth chart, and they've got Aaron Gordon at power forward. So it's like Mo Bamba's going to find his time because of that. I'm looking more for about maybe his low end, about 7 points a game. His high end is 9, so I'll settle with about 8 to 8.5 is what he's going to average points. Rebounds about maybe 6, and then he's going to be a guy that averages about 1.8 to 2 blocks a game. I think that's where, that's the thing I am looking most for with Mo Bamba is how do you develop defensively this year? Because I know we had the whole preseason thing of and the whole fun with him and Joe going back and forth with each other on Twitter and the defense. And Joe even said, hey, you got to learn how to defend here in the NBA. The thing I want to see from Bamba this year is kind of are we going to see what we saw with Anthony Davis, where it was like, hey, just wait. 1.8 coming out, and then he makes a leap where it's like, I'm not saying he'll have 2.8, 2.9 blocks per game in the next years like AD had, but will he then jump his sophomore year into that I'm going to have at least 2 or more blocks per game in my seasons? That's what I want to see. I want him, yes, he's developing his offense, but I want to see that defense from Bamba as well.
I mean, I love Bamba's potential as a rim protector, but I don't know about all defensive player. I mean, AD's a defensive player of the year candidate.
I know, but I'm just saying early on, how does that develop this year? I'm saying he's going to have I'm going to go high with that 1.8 to 2, but more towards that 1.8 number his rookie year. Because he's going to be going up against second teams.
I think one that could be comparable is maybe more of. Okay, I think you're fine. I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna
say go hard on him.
Well, I was gonna say Kristaps, and then I look at Kristaps' numbers, and he had 1.9 blocks and 33% shooting from 3.
Yeah.
So I think I was just thinking maybe a little bit lesser on again. Anthony Davis is one of the best defenders, so I think it's a large
it's a
comparison.
rough name to throw out there, but stats, not the play.
I got a rough one in my next one, so I'm not going to throw you too much under the bus. Go to your next one, Dave.
My next one is a Troy Brown Jr. Look,
bringing out the names.
What? I like
Troy Brown Jr. 15th overall.
What? You guys are all picking, top of the line guys. I'm picking a guy who was kind of a shocker at where he was taken. He rose quick because.
Well, no, we've had him mocked. I think our first mock we had him around there.
Yeah, we had. I'm just saying, experts, So
what do they know?
Seriously, what do they know? So I got Troy Brown Jr. I think he's going to play a lot like Evan Turner, but with millions of dollars less. So that'll be good for the Wizards. I think that he's going to probably put up 8, 3, and 3 because he's going to be further down in the depth chart because you still do have Satoransky and Austin Rivers out there. So he's going to be probably the third or second option on that second unit. But he's a guy who is going to earn more and more time as the season goes on. During Summer League, he looked great. During preseason, he's looked really impressive. I think that, honestly, the biggest thing for me that I see out of him is his passing vision and his confidence going to the lane. He is still a kid, but he moves like a grown man because he's physically developed. So, his confidence going in the lane and going hard to the hoop is... He needs to trust himself, and he's got that already. So, as long as he doesn't have an injury or something, I think he can be pretty good. I think he has good enough court vision to be that second ball handler out there, and he's size-wise pretty oversized. So defensively, he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 6'7" in their first mock draft. We had him put at 13. You and I to the Knicks,
Ooh.
and then Ricky had him at 14. So he ended up going one spot behind.
We were pretty good, man.
Yeah, I also had Hamidou right before him. So great.
Yeah.
So we were really spot on. The next one I got is I'm actually going to do two, just to throw them in there and they'll be quick. Just because I would feel bad not including one if we include the other. The first one's Marvin Bagley. The third guy's going to have a high usage. So I think at his top peak, he can have 19 points a game because they're going to have somebody that needs to score, and he might have
19 points a game.
His top end.
Okay.
They're going to need somebody to score. And, we saw what he did last year, 20 and 10 in the ACC.
Did you watch
Pretty damn impressive.
Did you watch any of the clips from last night?
Oh,
the game that was over in 6 minutes?
I am not done with my low end,
They used
Dave.
all 7 timeouts in the first,
I'm not done with my low end.
Okay.
My 19 is if he hits everything, 19 and 8. That's his top end. That's the most you could expect, and that might be a Rookie of the Year performance. His low end could be 10 and 7. I think he's going to get boards for sure, but it's going to be tough for him to consistently score because he hasn't looked great. He can only go to his left hand. He can't go to his right. Defenders are going to realize that. He's going to be easy to defend right away. And we also don't think his three-point shot is going to convert as easily as some do. Wendell Carter Jr. was a better three-point shooter than he was last year. So looking at it, Marvin Bagley can have a wide range of success or just disappointment in his first year. And I think if he hits, his top end, and I think a guy that you can look to that, I thought he was kind of similar coming out to, at least number-wise, I think he could be similar to Chris Bosh's first year. That was 11.5 per game, 7.4 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.8 steals, 1.4 blocks. And then you look at the three-point numbers. He didn't shoot a ton, only at 35%. I think that the attempts might be up a little bit, and the percentage might be down. But 45% from the field, and 70 from the line, I think that's going to be decent. 45% from the field, 70% from the line, and about 11 points per game. I think that's probably where Bagley's going to sit. And again, both 6'11 guys who could dribble the ball, handle it as well. I think that's where Marvin Bagley's going to sit. And the other one is Jaren Jackson Jr., the not third, sits. And this one might be a little bit of a stretch because this is strictly based on stats. But Rafe LaFrentz is the guy that he compares to, in my mind, at least statistical-wise. I think he's going to start. Rafe LaFrentz started 92 out of his 93 games in his first 2 years. He only played 12 years in his rookie year, so I'm just including the first two.
12 games in his rookie year?
Yeah, 12 games in his rookie year. So 93 total. And he averaged 30 minutes per game, which I think Jaren Jackson could do. He also averaged 3.5 personal fouls per game, which Jaren Jackson will do. But also he averaged 2.1 blocks per game, which I think Jaren Jackson can do. Yeah. He also averaged 12.6 points per game, which I think that's where Jaren Jackson will sit because he's going to be the fourth option, but he's going to be hitting threes. And Rafe LaFrentz shot 33.6% from three, and I think that's going to – and that was on 2.3 attempts, where I think that's where Jaren Jackson's going to be able to shoot and sit. So that goes to shit. If you can find suit shit.
It's a good night.
But I think that's where he's going to sit, is around 44% from the field, 33 from three, and about higher free throw percentage. But I think that's where he's going to end up around, is 12, 8, and then 2 blocks. So those are my 4. Who's your last one?
My last one's the homer pick. I'm going with Wendell Carter Jr. You knew I was going to pick him because I was going to pick my Bulls guy. And this one's similar to Mo Bamba, where it's I want to expect a lot out of him. The only difference is, unlike Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter could actually be starting later in the season, depending on if we move Rolo or if they just decide, hey, we're going to go with the younger talent over Rolo in the season. But this year, what I'm looking for from Wendell is I'm going to go about the same thing as Bamba with the points, maybe about 8 to 10 points, a little bit higher than Bamba, but that's where I'll go, about 6 boards per game, a little bit lower on the blocks. 1.3 is the average. I'll go 1.5, 1.6 is the top end, so not that much higher than what I think it'll be. And I think he'll have a similar season to Draymond Green's sophomore year, where it was Draymond that year had David Lee and Andrew Bogut in front of him. He was coming off the bench, only started in 12 games. Those might be a little bit higher for Wendell, might have maybe 20 games at the most that he starts in this year, because especially if we're in, let's say the Bulls, injuries, catastrophic happens, we're in top pick mode, going late in, screw it. Let's just throw Wendell out there, just see what he can do late in the year. I'm looking more 8.5 points, 6 boards, and 1.3
the thing
blocks.
With Carter is that Markkanen's going to be out for the first couple of weeks, so he might end up being a starter.
True.
So we might see Wendell pushed right into the thick of things.
Well,
see what ends up
I'm
happening.
assuming they'd go Bobby Portis at the 4.
No, I've heard Wendell.
I've heard Wendell
out
and
there.
Bobby P being the bench force.
Either or they could go with.
We'll see.
I like the Bobby P off the bench because he brings that energy coming off the bench, but they could do whatever they wanted.
Bobby P. It's horrible.
What is wrong with you tonight?
Give us your last damn rookie and let's end this.
Last damn rookie is Grayson Allen.
Hell yeah!
Because I got to bring it up that I called it again.
To the Jazz.
I called that shit spot on.
You did.
I love Grayson Allen. I think he is an awesome rookie. I want to compare him out the gates to Malcolm Brogdon just because it's a multi-year college player. He's going to come and he's going to be efficient. He's going to shoot well. He can defend well. He can do everything that they need him to. The big question is obviously, can he keep his shit on lock under Quinn Snyder before Quinn Snyder takes him out? Like, let's be honest, Quinn Snyder. So I think he's gonna probably put up like 7-3-2 or something. You know, he's not gonna be the guy. Obviously, he's a bench player. He's going to have a role on that team, but I think that he is going to be effective. I think he's going to give them great efficiency, a la Malcolm Brogdon.
What's the average on players tripped by Grayson Allen this year?
Ooh, that stat is I'll go with 2.
Okay, he'll
That's
average 2 trips per game.
Yeah,
or are we talking 2 for the whole year?
2 for the year.
Okay,
well, 2 public ones.
Okay,
2
public ones.
2 ones where it's like everybody knows that's egregious.
5 that he gets away with.
I think he's getting away with 5 throughout the year. I think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans.
So, how many in-game game ones is the important question?
Oh, they're all in game. I'm I'm just saying like 2 are ones that are gonna be like egregious that people are like, Jesus, Grayson, like we all knew this was gonna be you. Like, I told you guys.
And then like, the other ones are gonna be like 3 screen recordings of like a YouTube video.
And it's
it'll be like, see what Grayson Allen did.
See, look, he shifted his hip out over there. Clearly, he's intentionally doing
That's a high note to end it. I'm done. We're done. That was the highest note we can ever end a Fast Break podcast on. Sorry if it wasn't up to snuff. We're getting back. You know, this was our bad preseason game. We needed 7 timeouts for this episode.
Yeah,
I tell him to rate 5 stars, and then it was all right. But anyways, let us know your thoughts on these rookies and their expectations down in the comments below. We talked about DeJounte Murray, Jimmy Butler, Ryan McDonough, and these rookies. Next week is the start of the NBA season.
That's
We're
nuts.
going to have
a wet
day
boy.
1 reactions. We're going to have wet boys. And we're doing our fantasy draft today, and we're going to be giving reactions of
tonight.
our fantasy. What?
Tonight.
That's what
Tonight.
Yeah. Just
Is today tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight.
It's tonight today?
It's not day, it's night.
I'm going to smack you. It's a day. It's a day. There's 24 hours in a day. We're in today. Putz. Anyways, don't forget to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. I'm Sean Anderson. That's Dave Oster. I didn't even finish the whole thing about the fantasy draft. We're going to give you updates about fantasy draft and the fantasy league and the Wet Boys. Anyways, don't forget to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. That's Dave Oster. That's Ricky Widmer. I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.